Welcome to the Vision Profiles podcast. Join us dedicated Apple Vision Pro users as we dive into everything from hardware and software to apps and the latest updates in the world of Apple Vision Pro. I'm Marty, a faculty member at a Midwest university, podcaster, and an Apple product fan.
And I'm Eric Bolden. I've worked in IT, but my interest is in finding interesting ways to share content. Currently, photography of plants, birds, panoramic sequences, and cookie recipes.
And I'm Dave Ginsburg, the host of the In Touch with iOS podcast. I am passionate about technology, especially Apple, and use it in a real-world experience. I'm an IT professional and an iPhone subject matter expert. I learn new things about the Vision Pro every day.
Well, things get thinner and thinner each week as we draw closer to Christmas in terms of Apple news. And I'm surprised how much I was able to find, but a lot of it's, let's pass right over this pretty quickly. I'm seeing lots of articles that are just rehashes of stuff. Next episode we're going to do a end of the year sort of review of what we thought some of the top articles or some of the top pieces of information were. But we've got a good panel tonight, and I had spent the day wanting to put the show together, and instead was scheduled for a 2-hour meeting this morning where I was going to get some decisions made on what courses are being taught for the next 4 semesters, and that's all unpredictable in a university situation. But the bean counters wanted to know what it was going to cost us predicting the unpredictable. And so I spent what I thought was going to be 2 hours, and it turned into an all-day project where all I was doing was looking at spreadsheets and PDFs and copying and pasting. And then I sent it to a colleague who did track changes on it. I hate track changes because you have to take everything out of it by hand and then put in what you wanted to put in there anyways. So I was pretty frustrated by the end of the day, but did manage to get the show together. What's new with you guys? Anything new?
Yeah, I actually had an enjoyable conversation with one of my wife's friends, and she told me a little story about going. She's just got interested in the Vision Pro, so she went to one of the local Apple stores and got to check it out. And she was asking me a great amount of questions, so she loved it. And I started asking her about all the immersive videos and all the other things. But then she told me that she wanted to keep testing it and wanted to try it, do some more things with it. It was going a little longer. But normally when you go to the Apple store, you'd expect they would just, okay, we'll do that. But then I guess the guy just said to her, okay, well, if you're not going to buy it, you can't really be doing this demo any longer, because I couldn't believe that. I mean, that's an Apple store would do that? And then she went right back and said, okay, let's. I am going to buy it, and I'm definitely interested, but I want to take the time to understand it, and and that was that. But I mean, my God. So I'm not going to name the store, which store it was, but I told her, go to another store that we always like to go to, and I won't mention that one either, but because you'll figure it out. But yeah, just I was shocked. I was very surprised to have someone have experience about that. But I started naming off all the videos. She said, oh yeah, that was great, and she has experience in the military, so I asked if she liked the F-18 one. Oh, she loved it, and it was great. And so it was kind of cool to hear that kind of experience with that. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd mention that because the whole you can't do this anymore.
So the other thing that's most important is she has disposable cash. And you never do that to any customer who has disposable cash. Yeah. And if she's in our age range or close to our age range, we have disposable cash.
Younger.
Yeah. Oh well, still. So when she goes to the other store, which I hope she does, I hope she
Me
tells
too.
the story of why she came to the other store and was
Right.
encouraged.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so they know that
But
she's
that was
serious.
cool. That was probably my first one of a few times I've got to spend a little time going over it. And I say, yeah, you're welcome. We can, if you've had time, I can do a demo with you and show you anything you want and all that. So, but
So what you're
she would,
saying is now that you've got a buddy that's interested in it, it's time for you to buy an
yeah,
M5, right? So
no,
she can
especially
come
when
over and
my wife is involved.
Oh, you're
Eric,
going to
you're
get her an N5. That's really nice of you,
She,
Dave.
yeah, I can give her my M2.
Eric. Anything new with you, bird wise?
Well,
Yeah,
oddly enough, tonight a peacock showed up.
man,
So I spent some quality time outside, getting the peacock comfortable next to all the chickens. Um, it's at least it was warmer tonight. It wasn't 8 below 0 with a lower wind chill, so that was good. So we'll wait. We'll see how he does, or she. Not
Or
really sure
she?
yet.
You have a gender fluid peacock.
Until the feathers come in, it's a young peacock, and that's all we really know. And then we'll check in the morning and then see if there's any aggression between the different birds, and if I have to get out the band-aids, if somebody needs a
Wow.
timeout. Otherwise, if you think about it, they're all like little teeny dinosaurs, all in one pen, surrounded by snow. So we'll see how the morning goes.
So you're not, I mean, when you say it that way, it makes it sound like you're going to go out there and potentially find some really damaged birds. Is that the case?
Well, I mean, they're pretty safe at night because at night everybody is just kind of zonked out.
Hmm.
It's that's why putting a hood over like a falcon or a hawk kind of calms them down. So as long as it's dark, everybody's fine. So it just means in the morning I gotta go check out, make sure
Yeah.
that as they're greeting each other in the morning, they think they're just long lost friends, and not that half the group says, "Hey, we don't know who you are."
Yeah.
Uh, you know, throw some extra food out, get them running around outside, and I think they'll be okay.
Well, good. Good luck to you and your birds.
yeah,
Um, so actually, it's the same sort of thing that happens with human behavior. So, you know, we'll see how it turns out. So let's get to the news. It happened today. I was kind of hoping they'd get back on the Monday schedule of releasing betas. And sure enough, we have a new beta release for Apple Vision Pro. And there is some news about it that not much. It is 26.3, I guess beta 1 is what you call it,
right.
developer beta. And the news with regard to it is um, it's some of the things that's probably most important about it is that it has better PSVR2 controller touch detection. I have not been able to accurately get my uh, PS2 or PSVR2 controllers. I haven't spent time trying to hook them up again. So I'm hoping maybe this will make it a little bit easier. But it really is about the touch controls in plain terms. Light touches versus full presses could have behaved inconsistently in the past, and this supposedly is fixed. Some touch inputs might not have registered at all, and I'm wondering if that what was going on with me when I was trying to set it up and get it rolling. And it primarily affected apps where games are relying on nuanced kind of adjustments. Touch detection can now behave more predictably. Developers can rely more on accurate input signals, And immersive and controller heavy apps benefit the most with these kind of things. There's no new features. There's no new user facing features. Like we're not getting any new type of control element or window that pops up because of a gesture or anything fun like that. There's no new APIs were introduced. And the update was bundled with Xcode 26.2. This is a classic point 0.3 release, small, targeted, and focused on cleaning up stuff. So, yeah, that's about all one can say about the beta releases. I frankly was a little surprised that it came out so close to the RC. And then, of course, we know that we have an article in here on Apple releases not only the VisionOS 26.3, but also the watchOS 26.3 and the tvoS 26.3. So weird enough, Dave, you might have to explain this to me. Because when I saw
Okay.
the watchOS was released, I'm like, how can you have the watchOS released without having it in iOS? So before the show tonight, I turned on, and sure enough, I had a beta 3 release on iOS. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think generally what it means is they're ready to go right away, because I think a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that they want to get going on Apple Intelligence. I mean, they're behind the 8 ball, and they just got to keep the development process continuing here. And it definitely was. I think that's probably the more likely thing here. Uh, they currently, there is no, according to Mac rumors here, they currently don't know what there was what was released just yet, because you can look at the developers notes and there's probably just simple things, but I think there is also uh, more focus on iOS and iPad OS, only because
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be the big effect of Apple Intelligence. Whereas a watch or a tvOS, you're not going to expect much. I mean, even Vision OS, because it has to play with the iPhone or an iPad too. So, but that's probably what my thought is of why they just they want to continue on this development. Uh, Continue on this development, and because they're already talking about it. I mean, I saw in the rumors that they were saying that 2.26.4 was going to have some of the even more advanced things that they're working with, getting Apple Intelligence. With all the new folks that have been hired to work with that team. I'm not surprised that there was this. This 26.2 was a pretty big uh, release. There's a lot of new features, which of course we'll review on my show. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, and so I think that's pretty much my philosophy why this was out.
Yeah, I saw something in Macworld today, but had to zoom past it, where it was basically an article saying how far behind is Apple when it comes to AI,
Mhm.
and can they create a standalone AI product that is theirs and not purchase it? And the title was so compelling, but I didn't have time to get to it, so I'll take
Sure.
a look. I'll take a look for it and pass it on.
Mhm.
It just came out today, so it'll be
Yep.
right for your show if you want to use it. But
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I was curious about where that article came down on it, because we get into AI, I've got feelings about it in terms of how Apple might manage it. Um,
Yeah. You never
to
know.
just let
We might hit that as a topic this coming week.
yeah, yeah. Eric, you got anything on this, or should we go right to your favorite beta, which is not beta, which is
Oh, yeah, that's my preference. Let's get to a
uh,
real release.
they released Vision OS 26.2. We have an article on there from the Mac Observer that talks about the major changes, travel mode being one of them, and the ability to expand travel mode so it can be used on cars and buses. Hand-drawn input support. Basically, we're talking about Logitech Muse and tables in freeform and other things that you can do with that. And then more minor bug fixes in the updated version that arrives with Vision 26.2. And, kind of a couple of articles on there. Any thoughts or comments, Eric?
Um, oddly enough, I'm kind of happy to see tables in freeform. That makes freeform a lot more useful. Um, just being able to place things in kind of a known spot. And I hadn't really realized I was missing it until it showed up, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then I haven't had time really to fully test out travel mode, some of the travel mode stuff, but I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks to try driving around in a car and try it on a train and see what happens.
Well, make sure
Yeah.
you're the passenger, not the driver. Okay.
Figure out a way for icy
Actually,
roads.
I would
sleet,
like to see
snow,
that. I don't want to
and
be in
then-
the
Yeah, I
car
would too,
with them.
actually.
Yeah.
It would be kind of funny, but a little dangerous.
Yeah. We're returning to this article again. We've talked about it on a couple of shows since it came out. The Red Bull's Immersive Vision Pro ski movie, and this comes out of a Powder magazine or newsletter, powder.com. So I figured, well, what better way to hear about this than to go to a review by the folks who do the skiing. And
Yep.
pretty impressive and complimentary preview, except they're like, well, I don't have $4,000 lying around to get an Apple Vision Pro. So, I'll never see it. But they talk about the partnership with Innsbruck based production company Legs of Steel. They made several notable ski films, including the documentary Lindsey Vaughn's Historic Descent of the Streif. Now I'm going to want to find that one out if it's a documentary kind of thing. There's some cool stuff in it. They say some wonderful, wonderful things about it. And I like this final comment. The film also has some spooky, futuristic undertones. If in 80 or 100 years our planet is warmed to the point of no longer having snow, will virtual reality be all we have left of powder days with our friends? If there is no snow in 80 or 100 years, and the planet is warmed to the point where there is no snow, we got bigger problems to deal with than virtual reality memories. Any thoughts on that? Yeah, I mean, I appreciate this came from from a.
At that point, $3,500 doesn't sound that bad now, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, consider the markup. In 80 to 100 years, you're getting a deal right now.
Yeah.
We've got comments in the chat room from Craig, Allenbach, and also Statler and Waldorf have joined us in the chat room. It's nice to have folks in the chat room making comments and laughing along and having a good time with us. So thanks for joining us. Again, you can catch us live on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/@visionprofiles to join the chat room and join the comments and see us do this live. Okay. Now I have to admit I went a little crazy this week with patents. We didn't have patents.
What a surprise.
We didn't have patents last week. And I don't know. I'm going to kind of run through them quickly because I know it's painful for folks to have this, but there's some cool stuff in here. And then if you guys want to respond to any of these, that's cool too. But
Of course.
yeah. Apple's Eyes Room Aware Audio with with the new patent filing. So apparently, this is a shift from personal audio to shared environment aware experiences. Has home theater ambitions, room aware audio zones, and there's some nice pieces in the patent that kind of show how that is going to be set up and run. 6 Apple engineers were listed as inventors, along with Camelia Butos, sound designer and audio programmer. So some cool stuff with sound. And then 2 patents that very similar in which the way they look and work. This is a next generation Apple HMD design, targets comfort and customization, and this is basically looks like a type of head strap or head mounting device. And it shows some patents that have like visions of this where it is has a dial in the front of it so you can control it, and another a dial to adjust the display up or down. And it sort of feels like it's an expansion on the dual strap that we have now that's using. And it kind of makes me wonder, why are they patenting something like this? Is it possible that this is something that would go on to, I don't think it would go on to Apple Glasses, because it looks like pretty bulky for Apple Glasses, but could it go on to a Vision Pro 2? In another version of it. And then similar article, similar sort of framework, reinforced fit, Apple reveals modular multi-axis band architecture for next-gen Vision Pro. And you can see, if you're looking at the video, a lot of discussion around that. And then the similar structure that you see in the band in the figure that you saw in the previous one. So these seem to be connected in terms of the work. Then, this is a new one, and this is related to glasses. Apple introduces next-gen gaze tracking for future Vision Pro and Smartglasses. So the diagrams in here really kind of focus on where the cameras could be in glasses, and also where the eye is fixated or looking at. And they apparently have small side cameras to kind of determine and point where you're gazing at. And so it's a very interesting patent set up that way too. Apple patents expands breath tracking. This I think is kind of interesting. They are looking at this as a means to include this in health apps. Mm. And an interesting part of the diagram here is they show maybe where microphone sensors are going to be and where cameras might be installed in the Vision Pro headset, or already are there actually. And then they show a room display. And it looks a lot like their meditation app in the sense that it looks like a ball of pedals, and as you breathe or change your breathing, the pedals expand, and they show 2 diagrams where the pedals are one is kind of expanded, and then the other one, it just fully fills the room. So looking at this from a standpoint that this could be a meditation app, or it could be used for something like checking on sleep apnea, although I don't think you'd wear this when you're asleep, but just giving you some feedback on. I'm glad you agree, Dave. Just getting some feedback on your breathing patterns and how you're breathing through the day. And that also may be related to oxygen sensors or oxygen in the bloodstream. And yeah, lots of chatter in the chat room. Those cubes look 3D. Craig says kind of like Avalanche. I don't know Avalanche. That's my. I don't. I'm sure the reference is good. I just don't know what Avalanche in that sense is. A couple of more patents. This one is interesting. High-end hybrid sensor approach could redefine Apple's gaming input strategy. And basically, they've got a. I hate to say it. It looks like a Wii wand, from the old Wii devices. And a friend of mine had a Wii, and I just loved playing the tennis on that.
I still have one. Well, somewhere.
Yeah. But it looks like it's a combination of the gaze and picking up movements on the device, the input device, and how all of that fits together in terms of giving more accuracy, particularly in gaming, with these kinds of things. And then the last one goes to, I think, the heart of what we know with hand control, or just the hand grip aware pose. Apple's patent uses hand skeletons to track hidden controllers. So you can carry something like about the size of a Bic lighter, it looks like, as the controller in here. But Apple will be sort of scanning your hand to see the shape of your hand to give feedback on how the actual device that it can't see is being used in the moment. So I think some pretty distinct, these last two, some pretty distinct patents that are around using external devices. All right, so I'm going to stop here. And
No, I mean, I think it's interesting to see that. I mean, you follow these patents quite a bit, and it's interesting to see that there's so many of them coming out as you notice. I mean, I watched this site from time to time for articles when I'm looking around to see if anything's interesting. But yeah, I mean, all seriousness, we always kidding aside here, but it's pretty incredible how many patents are being filed on. It seems like almost daily for the Vision Pro.
Yeah, and I stopped at what we have in our list. That was only about 4 or 5 days worth of filings with it. Yeah, I was really surprised. It's like, was this the pre-Christmas rush?
Yeah, exactly.
To file a bunch of patents. But yeah, there's a lot out there. And for me, it's kind of fun. And I hope the listeners take a look at these books to get an idea of what is in the imagination of Apple engineers, whether they're getting it patent to shut other people down or whether they're actually going to wind up using the patent. Eric, any thoughts on any of these?
I'm still kind of excited about the room aware audio. That's showing a lot of possibilities. And if you think kind of forward in time, if you have more than one Vision Pro user, or if you have Vision Pro users and maybe glasses users of some sort, you might not be able to get all of the audio built into each one of the devices. And if you're all in the same spot at the same time, trying to look at something or interact with some virtual thing between everybody, being able to tie it together with audio kind of throughout the room, there's a lot of possibilities there. So it feels like that's a few years off, but I'm looking forward to see what they come up with.
Yeah.
Next article is kind of a speculative article, but interesting nonetheless. I think it's comes from 4weekmba.com. Dave always wonders where I find these things.
Where do you find this stuff? It's great.
It's got some interesting articles.
No, you wouldn't bring it if it didn't. I understand.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying this article is is wild because it's coming from a site called 4 Week MBA, but it's got some interesting diagrams talking about where things where things have been, like smartphones, smartwatches, smart glasses, which is where we are now, 2024 to 2026. And then AR displays, 2027 to 2028 with HUD overlay. And then they're saying spatial computing, but I kind of think we're already there in 2030, which will be mixed reality. They go into different products. They talk about Meta Ray-Ban, and this whole article is like an infographic, basically. And Apple Vision Pro, then Snap spectacles, where you can put them on. They snap to the lens for integration. They do hand tracking, things like that. And then coming in 2026, the rumored Apple glasses. We've already seen the Samsung and Google collaboration, Meta Orion and Xiaomi smart glasses. So just kind of an interesting piece. And then it has some information underneath about it in terms of what they see as a smart glasses race. Just fun.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. Anything, guys? Or
No.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
and
yeah,
I just was going to say that I find it interesting with all of these trends of where are things going and is Apple going to get there or not get there or whatever. It seems like in a lot of the cases, the Vision Pro still is a really useful device to do all of the development and testing of everything else they want to put out there.
yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be around for quite a while. We just don't know what the end average user device is going to look like yet.
Yeah, and Statler wants to know which glasses are the coolest for the hip crowd. I gotta say the Meta, the Meta Ray Bans, and then the Oakleys that they have. Those only models seem to wear those glasses, not funky looking guys like me. Although I own a pair of them, but it's only it's only models that they allow to show wearing them. Have a series of articles here that there's been a lot of comparisons that have come out in the last couple of weeks, and a lot of review articles. So although, for example, the Galaxy XR came out, probably over a month ago, we're still getting these Galaxy XR reviews. This one of them came from Wired, so they waited some time to sit on this and come up with a review. But I have I don't know, 4 or 5 articles here that do some comparisons and are published just recently in terms of articles. So first one from Mac Observer, Vision Pro M5 versus MetaQuest at 3S. 2 very different takes on mixed reality. I got a 3S.
No comparison. No comparison.
No comparison.
Yeah.
I've got a 3S. It is the Meta that I let my son play with, meaning my 30-plus-year-old son play with. And I'll tell you, for a low-end headset, it does everything that you would want from a Meta to do, with just a little more graininess to it. But you're right, Dave. There's no comparison between the two.
Yeah.
I am going to have to gather all these up. I just found out I'm doing a keynote workshop, pre-conference workshop on AR and VR at a group counseling or a group association conference in Chicago in February.
Fun.
So I have to get all these things powered up and drive them over there. And then another one, Vision Pro 2 rumors. is the future of Apple's VisionOS tech actually smart glasses? And this comes from Stuff TV. Stuff, kind of a fun magazine when it was a magazine, but
It's,
this is
I think it's
Stuff TV.
from the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I think you're right. But that would be the thing that I'd go to Barnes and Noble and I'd go through the magazines and pull a Stuff because they had all kind of, it was the gadget magazine, really.
Yeah. It's still out there. You can get online.
Yeah. So Vision 2, they're saying whatever Resorti has been saying that, Apple's moving towards Vision glasses or smart glasses. So yeah. And then a review. This one is the one from Wired I talked about. That is the Galaxy XR. And the subtitle is a little more accessible than the Apple Vision Pro. This Android XR headset could use more polish. And
I guess my question would be, when's the last time you looked at it and touched it?
you're asking me personally?
Yes.
Well, let me do this.
Well, not counting now that you're going to go grab it, but
Just reached back and touched it.
I mean, actually use it.
Probably about a week and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
Because
All
as
right.
I read articles on, I mean, my first wife is she's asleep in the other room. My second wife is behind me, and my third wife is behind me, and then the Galaxy XR is my fourth. So I got to take care
Oh my
of the
God.
second wife. When I'm
Oh boy.
so doing the upgrade on that's real important. Anyways,
Oh, you're funny.
I have too many wives. I have too many sister wives is what it is.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, this is a good article, I think, done by Wired.
Yeah, they
Talks
write
about the
good
comfort
articles.
issues. They do good reviews
Yeah.
in terms of this. They do talk about the headset and the strap. And then in here, you can see the little sideline here on the device that is actually it's touch sensitive, so you can use it for a variety of things. But yeah, a pretty extensive, nice article or review, fair review in terms of the Galaxy. And then Tom's Guide, which, wow. Samsung Galaxy XR is getting 3 massive upgrades. Apple Vision Pro should be sweating.
I love their art. They're it's like clickbait almost.
It's the hyperbola in what they have to. They can't just say Samsung Galaxy XR is getting 3 massive upgrades. That's the story, but they have to put the drama in it, like Apple Vision Pro. I'm sure the engineers are like shaking in their boots over at Apple.
That's how they get clicks. That's how they do it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I have to go to this site when something pops up. But they're talking about changes in the headset starting today, including virtual display for your PC, creating a digital likeness for video calls, and travel mode for first class cinema experience in economy. So they've got personas. They now have travel mode, and now they have a link to your PC in case you want to do it. So I don't know why Apple should be shaking in their boots
No.
or sweating.
I highly doubt that's happening right now.
Yeah.
When are those updates supposed to come out?
The updates for these, I think they've already just announced Android XR Samsung starting today. So that was December 9th was when this article came out. So
Okay, I just wasn't sure if that was they just announced the updates or if the updates actually shipped.
well, the next link, which I'm going to show, which is I moved this around a little bit because it's related to this. article. A guy does a, let me see if I can stop this. A guy does a comparison between the Galaxy XR Persona, if you want to call that, and
Hmm.
the new Vision Pro Persona. And it's, I don't know, it's like a 5-minute video, but um,
Huh.
you can see this is his. If you're reading the screen, you can see it's the Galaxy XR.
Oh, doesn't look too shabby.
No, his complaint is there's some delay in his movement, and
Mm.
there's also like a real softening. He feels like he's younger, or he looks younger,
Hmm.
and has concerns about his expressive. He says his teeth. He just grinned. His teeth is it looks too good. Um, he can't stick his tongue out and things like
Oh,
that.
well, that's a deal breaker.
It is.
Yeah. So
I'm done. I'm done.
yeah. So this is about a 3-minute video. I'm going to switch to show that's his persona view for those of you that are looking.
Yeah.
He didn't stick his tongue out there either.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We at least know you can do it, but I'm disappointed at.
Very disappointed.
He did. I shut the video off before he got a chance to see it. He did stick his tongue out.
Oh, okay.
He
All
did a
right,
little
I'll go
like
back and watch.
he he did like a little kiss thing, like Gene Simmons does.
With the tongue.
Sticks his,
Ah,
yeah, it's
okay.
a little creepy. Um, so yeah, interesting, interesting comparison between the two. And you see a little more structure to his face, a little more blemishes or whatever. His skin looks more natural than just kind of a pasted powder over thing. So
Did you see
that,
the one where they got somebody to do a persona, and when they recorded it with like a fake Santa beard
oh
and
yeah,
mustache and everything?
yeah, there
I
was, I saw it
I,
and I
I
was
kind of
wondering,
want to
how do
do
you,
that.
yeah, yeah. I saw that with personas. I also saw it as like for Zoom calls, where you can kind of put those digitally.
Huh.
There's a digital overlay that you can put on Zoom calls that you can get a full Santa beard and hat.
Huh.
Okay, this is kind of a business related article, shifting gears a little bit. And this is AVP in the can Apple Vision Pros turn the office into a metaverse, a new reality for productivity and presence? This comes from prnewsblog.com. And it talks about Vision Pro substituting an endless workspace for conventional monitors, um, and connecting with your MacBook. Hand gestures and eye tracking take place of cumbersome controllers. The idea of flexibility beyond productivity. There are more options. Vision Pro for immersive learning. Surgeons can practice procedures. So covering a lot of the stuff condensing a lot of the stuff that we've covered over the years with this device. Apple has an advantage over rivals like Meta and HTC because of its ecosystem integration. Vision Pro establishes continuity through smooth connections With Macs, iPhone, and iCloud, the user only needs to expand what already exists. They don't have to start over in a different environment. So, interesting article there.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then,
Do
Eric,
you,
can you
do you
talk about
remember
the. Yeah, go
way
ahead.
back in time when Apple used to talk about the portable office?
Yeah,
And it'd be like, oh, get this and this and this and this, and you get your portable office and you could set up and bring it all over. you know that is kind of how I see the Vision Pro. Is you actually have a portable office. You turn it on, you put it on, your calendar's on the wall, you got pictures on the wall, you've got widgets showing a bunch of different things. You have your virtual display. You can actually get work done. You've got whatever calming sounds you need. Um, that always seemed like it's a more of a successful virtual office than whatever it is they were trying to do way back.
yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no,
Go
no.
ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to switch to the next article, but your point is well suited with this. And I was going to ask you for help on this. Gravitas threads.
Huh. I must have missed that one. That looks kind of
Oh,
cool.
okay. Yeah, it is exploring Reddit as a spatial museum in XR, Vision Pro app, AI plus physics. Um,
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
working on
remember
an
this one now.
Vision Pro app called Gravitas Threads, and I wanted to share it with folks. This is from a Reddit post.
Yeah.
At the high level, it's a spatial data visualization and real time recommendation system built on top of Reddit. Instead of scrolling a list, you explore a subreddit with as a 3D museum where posts are clustered in space and can be pulled out into your environment. Oh, that sounds cool.
That is really neat.
That sounds really cool. You know, there's an app that I used to use. I still have it called Visual Thesaurus, and I'd have it as when I was writing, I'd have it on another screen. And if I felt I needed another word, I'd type in the word that I was using too much, and it would give me sort of data clusters of different words. And it's like if I click
Hmm.
on this cluster, it would, and I right click on it, I get all the definitions that are associated with that cluster, and I can make decisions about what path I want to go down to. Just reading this makes me think a little bit about visual thesaurus and kind of saying, oh, I'm in Reddit and I'm looking at this and I want to go down this thread, but this whole area where these different Reddit threads are clustered, I want to go down that instead. So you click on it and you get the sense of that from looking at this site and you see the data points kind of popping up and popping around um, with it. Looks very cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I
Are we
liked
ready? Yeah.
the opportunity to convert a lot of the concepts into sort of visual examples.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
something I always was unhappy with in textbooks. You get a term, you get one picture, and then 30 paragraphs and still had no clue. So, seeing actual motion and interactions and gravity and whatever, that's kind of a nice, and I like that you could link it to something like a subreddit so you can kind of add and continue to expand. Um,
Yeah.
there's some places where I'm not sure you want high schoolers running around in Reddit, but college certainly would be very helpful.
I'm sure they do. Don't worry.
Okay. Ready to go to apps?
Yeah.
Let's go to apps. Eric, talk about sunglasses. Or Dave. You guys have both been into the apps tonight. from what I understand.
I'll wait to hear
S-
what Eric says first because I'm curious before I give my review of that.
Well, Sunglasses was sort of an interesting app. Like, I read it at first and I thought, what is the point? Why would I ever want to use this? And it's
Yeah.
not 100% absolutely everything you could ever do. You it would be useful for. There's some cases where it doesn't work. However, there are many cases where wherever you are is just a little bit on the bright side. And you could turn on a fully immersive environment and fix that. Or you can use sunglasses and then just mute the environment you're in, just dim it down. And you get
Hmm.
like 3 different levels of darkness. And you could wear tinted glasses. Kind of wish that it wasn't tinted red, that you could pick a different color. But, maybe
Oh,
in
that
a
red
future
was
update.
horrible.
But the gray was okay, and the differing levels were okay, and
Mhm.
I took one day and then I didn't drink any caffeine so I could get a caffeine headache, and then put on the Vision Pro, and darkening everything
Okay.
was a definite bonus. Um, it wasn't worth the pain of the experiment, but it did work.
Take one for the
So.
show.
Does this cost anything?
Yeah.
It does.
Isn't it $3, $4?
Yeah, I think it's like three or $4. I don't
Okay, I
remember.
had a guy I used to work with, and it was I felt kind of he was my mentor because he had this wildly creative imagination, and he would come up with ideas that he said, you're about 5 years ahead of. He said this to me. You're about 5 years ahead of where other people are, and I'm about 10 years ahead. So you're kind of my interpreter in terms of stuff. And I thought that was kind of nice and polite. He had a very loving wife who put a sign in his office, got this sign made up by a small little thing that said, "But why would you want to?" And it was a response to the question or the statement, I could do this, or I could put sunglasses on in my Vision Pro, dot, dot, dot. But why would you want to? And I don't find a use case for this, Eric, other than you
Well,
getting a headache.
do you do you ever wear sunglasses in real life?
Very rarely. To be honest with you,
So
very rarely.
so then I wouldn't recommend sunglasses in this case. But I know a lot of people that wear sunglasses a lot. Their eyes are relatively sensitive. It's kind of like, do you use dark mode on your computer? I don't, because I need the extra contrast. But I know people who use dark mode everywhere. I know people who do work in sunglasses. Don't totally understand it, but they do. And this just takes whatever you're looking at and dims it down. And I haven't seen anything else that does it. You might say, why would you want to? But then the question is, do you wear sunglasses in weird spots now? If you do, this is the app for you.
Okay, if you go to the app site, as I showed, that the pictures, the stills from it, are like crap. They are fuzzy, they're dark, you can't define the impact of it. It's just the guy needs to do better PR on it because it hasn't convinced me to get sunglasses or to use this app because everything looks so damn dark. It doesn't add to the clarity, it just makes it dark.
I think that's the purpose, just making it dark. It's like people who say, I only want to use a really old display because it has problems with the backlighting. It's gotten all dim, and that's what makes them comfortable. Yeah, and I've had one or two people who said, "Yeah, I don't like the Vision Pro because it's too bright." This is for that kind of person.
Okay, Dave, either kick me out of the group or save me here. What's your thoughts?
I couldn't. I mean, I saw the concept of it. I mean, the app came up and I liked it dark. I hated the red. That was horrible. But I just didn't understand the concept as I was trying to open up other apps and try to see if it's actually dimming it, because I mean, I guess I was doing it wrong. I mean, did you toggle off of the app and go in to another app, or does it become like a background, like the Jupyter background or something like that? Because I didn't see the concept. Maybe I missed something.
It's like being in an environment, and you can't open everything into an environment. So if you can't open it into an environment, then this doesn't work.
Okay, so you have to
So
so you so you have
so
to have an open
it's
environment open.
basically it is an environment. And then anything you can open into an environment, you get this effect. So it doesn't go across absolutely everything. But you could put a virtual screen into it. If you're just sitting there looking at the rest of the world and you've got other stuff going on, you can turn it on. I haven't had it running for enough days to be able to see all of the spots where it doesn't work. Maybe at some point Apple will put in an API to be able to have this effect. I think it's worth it. I'm kind of with Marty. I'm not exactly sure how many people, if you take all the people that are out there and then only take the ones that have the Vision Pro, then take only the ones that really want dark glasses. I think it's a pretty tiny group, but I found it was sort of a neat app. And if you need that, there is no way to put dark glasses on and then put on your Vision Pro.
All right. So what you're saying is you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $3 goodbye.
And if you really like it dim, then
$4.
maybe it
Oh,
makes,
four
makes it
bucks.
$4. Yes. Yeah.
And I was a sucker and bought it.
Well, Dave proudly before the show said, "I am prepared for these apps. I got into
I
these apps, and
was
I'm
proud of
sorry.
myself.
Sorry, your enthusiasm
No,
was
I'm
subjected
happy to
these.
support the developer. I need to probably spend some more time in it.
Yeah. Okay. Next one up, glass breakers. We were going to talk about this last week, and we just didn't
Yeah.
get it in time.
I guess I can start. I
Yeah.
was pretty impressed with this game. I thought that the immersiveness of it is really cool. The fact that you're putting your fingers up to pinch and hold and move the platform around was really cool. And I think the best thing about the game was it had a really good demo. It actually is. I didn't finish through the demo, but I got through most of it, which is good because some people just want to dig into the game, but if you don't learn it, you're going to be like sitting there forever trying to figure it out. So by putting your middle finger, your thumbs, you can move the platform around. You put your index finger and thumbs. You're moving the characters to the place where you have to move it. There's shooting, and there's some really creepy actually characters there,
Yeah.
like a rat and
I don't think
rabbit
that's a
and
rat, Dave.
no
No, I think it's a guinea pig.
guinea pig.
And
Okay,
I had 5 guinea pigs when I was a child. So
okay. So you should know of anybody.
trashing no guinea pigs.
No, I wasn't trashing. I think this was kind of creepy. I was never I never had a hamster. I never had a guinea pig. So, but I mean, overall, I didn't get into the actual core of the game, but I did get to experience the demo, and I thought it was really. I mean, I was like, wow, I'm sticking my hands down on this platform, and I'm moving my hands around, and hey, wait, there's my cord over here on my desk. I touched stuff and could not see it. So, I think that it was well done with the graphics and with the immersiveness of it. I'll probably play it a little further and see. And the cool thing is it's free, which is well, it's actually not free. It's included in Apple Arcade,
Apple
so you have to be
Arcade.
Apple Arcade subscriber. So, which is great to see. I think it's one of I probably we should probably shoot an episode just on what Vision Pro games are available in Apple Arcade because there's your topic right there, and come up with a segment on just games because I didn't even realize they had some specific games just for Vision Pro in Apple Arcade.
Yeah, that looks very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Did you try, Marty?
No, I haven't tried it. like I said, I
Okay.
spent my day staring at
So you got two of
spreadsheets.
us that played it. So you got
Yeah,
two views.
I'll
Go
go
ahead,
in and
Eric.
I'll put it on wife number two, and
Wife
you know,
number 2. So you got M2 and M3, M5. That's wife 2, wife 3,
Yeah.
right?
no, M5 is actually wife two,
Oh,
M2 is actually wife
she
three.
got promoted to wife 2. Okay.
Yeah, it's the younger model. It's
Oh
the
gosh.
younger.
Oh.
Oh my God. I'm almost hand palming it too.
It's the younger sister
Ugh.
wife.
Face
So
palming, I should
back to
say.
glass breakers.
Yes, please.
All right, Eric.
So one of the things that has most annoyed me about games on the Vision Pro is when you start it up, it's got a neat interface, but
Yeah.
it puts the game board either a little too high or a little too low, and you can't actually play it because it's too close to you or it's oriented wrong, and having to get up and then move around somewhere to try to get to a spot where you. This game, you don't have that problem. You just hold your hands out, use your thumb and middle finger, put it together. You can lift the board up, you can rotate the board, move it around, so that it is playable no matter where it starts the board
Yeah.
out, even if it puts it in the wrong spot. This, I think, is probably one of the best set of controls that I've experienced. Being able to have, a thumb and first finger click, a thumb and middle finger click together. It also does some things where the height of your hand, is it at eye level? Is it below eye level? Changes the controls a little bit. All of that is really cool. The gameplay is actually not that bad. Um, I did the demo part twice because I wasn't sure how to skip through the demo part the second time I went in. Um, I'll play it a couple more times and see if there's an easy way
Yeah,
to
I will too.
skip past that. But even the demo was entertaining.
It was.
I liked the characters. I liked the arrangement. The sound effects were good. There was some
Sounds
depth to
great.
the sound. Yeah, the motions and what they had you do as far as moving and doing things on different sides of the board, so that you really did get to try the 4 or 5 skills you needed to move forward in the game. It didn't have hundreds and hundreds of things you needed to learn.
Yep.
There's like an arm movement you can do to bring a system preferences button up that then gives you your cheat sheet of all of the controls. That was kind of cool. So I would say this is probably the best, maybe even the best game, but definitely the best arcade game that I've played on the Vision Pro.
All right, that is
No, I agree.
glowing praise.
The
I
board the
will have.
board wasn't so bad to move it though, but yeah, you're right. I was like this trying to
Yeah,
get to
it's
it,
like
and then so I had to go like this, and
move
then
it
I
up.
just went out, and then there it finally moved. But you really can move the board pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
But and then figuring out that you go up to top, and and yeah, there was some good things with it though.
Cool.
And I think they start the board a little bit too close because there's some
Yeah,
motions, particularly if you're having all of your characters do something at the same time, where it's harder to get them to go all the way across the board because it was a little
yeah,
bit too far. And if the board's
yep,
closer to you, it's more successful making those motions. But
yep,
yeah, you can move it further and you can change it while you're playing. It's not one of those where you set things up, you start playing, and then you're screwed because you guessed
yeah,
wrong. If
yeah,
it's not in the right spot, you rotate it, move it, shove it where you want it. Perfect.
yep.
Cool. Very cool. And it has guinea pigs.
It does.
Gotta give it cred for that. Guinea pigs.
And archery, right?
Oh,
If you're
okay.
And
gonna have a game, there's got to
and
be archery in there someplace.
and some killing too.
All right. And I don't have to pay for it because I have Apple Arcade. So all
No,
the
you
better.
don't.
Yeah.
Well, I think all three of us do.
Yeah. So let's wrap the show. We've been on here for a while.
Yeah.
We've had some active folks in the chat room. You can join the chat room by going to youtube.com/@visionprofiles. We record live on Monday nights starting around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can get in the chat room and talk to folks like Craig and Statler, who have been in and communicating back and forth and at us in some situations. So have some fun and enjoy the show that way. Or you can pick it up later on any of the video feeds and or podcast feeds. And all of the links will be in the show notes for those. Let's check out and find out where we can find you. Dave, where can we find you?
Yeah, thanks for always having me. I always love being on the show. You can find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. I am here on Monday nights, Vision Profiles. Tuesday nights, I'm on Mac Voices Live with the two of you and other great folks in our panel. And Thursday nights, we record In Touch with iOS. That's 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel. Fridays, I'm on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. We're going to be doing a Christmas quiz coming up this week. And then on social media, I'm on Mastodon and Blue Sky at DaveG65.
Yeah, but you forgot to mention it's the 400th episode this week.
Oh, yes.
In Touch
Thank
with
you.
iOS.
Yes. This week is 400 episodes.
Wow.
Yes. It's been almost 10 years.
Wow.
It's amazing how time has just flown by.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Oh, please. we're going to celebrate. That's for sure.
That's good. That's good. You should.
Yeah.
And that's great news. Eric, where can we find you?
Well, when I'm not chasing peacocks, I can be found on Mastodon at eabolden@mas.to. Otherwise, kind of progressing through the OSs throughout the week, starting with VisionOS on Mondays, on Vision Profiles, Mac OS on Tuesdays, on Mac Voices, and then on Thursdays with In Touch with iOS, kind of a round out of everything from the week.
Yeah, and for me, a lot of the same places these guys hang out. Monday nights here with Vision Profiles, Tuesdays with Mac Voices and Chuck and the gang, Thursdays with In Touch with iOS with Dave and Eric and more great people on that show, and then Friday mornings on the British Tech Network with the Mac Show. And you can find all the other podcasts I'm involved in and produce and have fun with at thepodtalk.net. That's the website for that. You can connect directly with me through Mastodon at Gencius, Gencius at mastodon.social, or Blue Sky, same thing, Gencius at Blue Sky. That's a kind of a wrap for the show. Thanks for tuning in. We love to hear from you. If you have comments, questions, or ideas, or want to join an episode, email us at visionprofilspodcast@gmail.com. Our bumper music is Free Jazzy by Steve Combs, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. And again, you can email us at the podtalknetwork@gmail.com or check out the website, thepodtalk.net. Spread the word to other visionaries, and thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.